Welcome back to UCL Review, second one of the week. We are deep into the last 16 of the Champions League, aren't we? And we had two cracking games last night, joined by Sam Obaseki, man, myth, legend.
Come on.
To take you through all the action. What happened at the Bernabeu last night?
Well, Manchester City got themselves a historic win at the Bernabeu, coming from behind Lyon to beat Real Madrid 2-1. It's the first time the citizens have beaten Los Blancos in their history, and the first time Pep Guardiola has won in Madrid since 2011. And it was nothing more than his side deserved. With City's manager surprising in the team selection, he left out Aguero, Sterling, and David Silva, and used Bernardo Silva as a false nine and Gabriel Jesus on the left. And his decision came into question after the first half. Obviously, his side had 47% possession, and Aymeric Laporte also got injured. So there was questions starting to be raised, but this is what Pep had to say about Laporte's injury.
I think he's injured, yeah. It's a problem to be 4 months, 5 months injured. Come back in this demanding game, it's a pity, because we dream to be with him until the end, but unfortunately, we suffer a lot this season in this department, but with John, with Eric, with Nico and Dino, we'll go through.
City did, however, come alive in the second half. They dominated the ball and they took 11 shots on Madrid's goal, more than double they did have in the first 45 minutes. But that didn't stop them from going down. After 60 minutes, a few defensive mistakes from Walker, Otamendi, and Rodri.
What is Otamendi doing?
I don't know. It was Otamendi's.
Off Rodri, like.
It was Otamendi's fault, but Walker had a clear chance to just clear it or pass it back to the keeper, and he just neglected that.
I think he sold a bit short personally, but yeah, I know what you mean. Like, he gets completely outmuscled by Vinicius.
And that's kind of poor coming from an experienced right back.
Yeah.
But they didn't get the equaliser for another 20 minutes, with Gabriel Jesus' 78th minute header capping a fine performance for the 22-year-old. What do you think, Mikey?
Yeah, I mean, has to be man of the match.
Yeah, he was quality.
Terrorised that Madrid defence throughout. I thought even in the first half, where City looked a little bit disjointed, obviously playing that slightly different system, Jesus on the left was still very, very effective. And yeah, in the second half, like you said before, really came alive. In total, he took 4 shots, which was the joint most on the pitch with Riyad Mahrez, completed 3 of his 4 dribbles, created 3 chances, and even managed 4 tackles and interceptions. So very effective in the press as well. Also a great performance from Kevin De Bruyne, who assisted Jesus' goal, and of course put away the decisive penalty 5 minutes later. I did call it KDB masterclass. And 2-1
Mystic Mike. So Mystic Mike was on form yesterday.
I'm back. Just wait until Euro 2020. Hopefully I get, my series recommissioned. But anyway, KDB created 4 chances, which was the most on the pitch, took 3 shots and completed 3 dribbles. Such a threat in that second half. But we need to talk about Real. Completely capitulated in that second half, didn't they? With the exception of that Isco goal, they didn't really trouble the City backline all that much. Top scorer Karim Benzema, 0 shots on goal in the second half. Obviously had that first half effort saved very well by Ederson. And by the end of the game, it was clear who was the better side. Expected goals read 3.17 to 1.13 in Manchester City's favour.
Wow.
I'm not sure, but I feel like Real Madrid can't have conceded that kind of XG at home this season in any game. So yeah, they were really up against a class outfit on the night. The visitors also managed 16 efforts to Real's 9, which you'd expect from that XG as well. Vinicius Jr. was probably their only bright spark for me. Completed 3 dribbles, 3 tackles and interceptions as well. Also created the goal. But he was brought off on 75 minutes for Gareth Bale. Very strange decision. I think on the stream last night we were all calling for another attacker to come on. Bale seemed the obvious choice, but it felt like it made a lot more sense for Isco to come off rather than Vinicius. I think Vinicius could have caused more problems in that final 15 minutes. And yeah, Bale, and he came off 3 minutes before City equalised. So it turned out to be the wrong decision for Zidane. And obviously a sorry night for Sergio Ramos as well. The Real captain called for a foul in vain for Jesus' opener. Obviously not a foul, but then was given a very harsh red card for that last man challenge on the same man with 5 minutes remaining. What did you make of that?
It was a red, let's be honest. It was light. It was a light challenge, and he didn't make that much contact, but at the same time, if you're the last man in that position, he runs across you, whether you mean it or not, it's a goal scoring opportunity.
It was nice.
It's a red
You
card.
don't expect it from a defender with that much experience.
I don't think he had that much to do. He couldn't really get out of position. I think that was always going to be the outcome. Jesus was kind of looking for the contact as well.
Do you think in that sense that maybe Ramos kind of accepted that, like Jesus probably scores in that moment, so maybe taking the red is more
I think so. And he is a man of the dark arts. He might have done it on purpose because a 1 goal difference is better than a 2 goal difference. So
it's true.
They're more in it than they would have been if it was 3-1.
Perhaps, but he is out of that second leg, and that's giving me flashbacks of last season where he got that yellow in the first leg against Ajax. It was like, okay, cool, we'll just, I'll come back for the quarterfinals. This time, very different. They're already down at home. They've got to go to the Etihad. But what do you guys make of it? Do you think Real can turn this around? Let us know in the comments below.
So before we move on to our next section, this is a reminder to subscribe and hit the notification bell to never miss a video on EFD. But the next game is Lyon versus Juventus, and Lyon managed to record a rare win against Juventus, beating them 1-0 at the Groupama Stadium, winning their first CL knockout game since February 2012.
Wow.
Yeah, that's kind of mad. But, the Champions League is a night for, crazy things to happen. Anyway, Lucas Touzart's first half strike was enough for the French club to secure their first win over the Italian champions in a European competition. Wow. Crazy stat, that is.
Yeah, proper. And especially considering that they've not had the best season. Obviously, you'll probably get onto it in a bit, but their injuries at the moment. Like, no one was expecting Lyon to be coming out of this first leg ahead, I don't think. At least I wasn't. Definitely seen as one of the weaker teams in this last 16. So yeah, very, very surprising.
But their home record does say otherwise in the Champions League. They are now unbeaten at home in 9 consecutive games. Yes, it's only 2 wins and 7 draws, but that's not the point here.
Yeah, hard to beat at least.
Their longest run in the competition was in 2006 when they went 18 games unbeaten, winning 12 and drawing 6. Obviously, that was peak Lyon.
Yeah. Michael Essien days. Amadou Diarra days.
And obviously
Benzema as well.
Obviously, like you said earlier, they were without the likes of Yusuf Kone, Memphis Depay, and Jeff Rain Adelaide, who both suffered cruciate ligament ruptures, and they went in clear underdogs. However, this was not the case. Although they only had 36% possession, they managed to record 12 shots, with 2 of them being on target. And although Touzart scored the all-important goal, Hassoum Aouar was man of the match. He was causing Juve problems the whole game. He recorded 3 key passes, 3 dribbles, and obviously got the all-important assist. He has now been directly involved in 4 goals in his 5 appearances for Lyon in the CL this season, with 1 goal and 4 assists. Defensively, they were also pretty sound. They managed to shut out the Juve front line. They had 31-year-old Brazilian Marçal marshalling the back line. He managed 8 tackles plus interceptions and blocked 2 shots. And obviously, Juve just didn't really get it going, did they, Mikey?
They didn't at all. Harrowing night for Juve and Maurizio Sarri, of course, whose job now looks quite uncertain if they can't get through this tie, doesn't it? They'd gone unbeaten through the group stages, 5 wins and 1 draw, so they'd had it fairly easy going into this game in this competition. They scored 12 and conceded just 4 in the group stage as well. So all signs pointed to them advancing from this tie. Obviously, they do go to the Allianz in a few weeks' time. I'm still backing them to get through, but it's not looking good for Sarri right now. Pressure mounting. They failed to get any of their 14 shots on target here. That's the first time they haven't got a shot on target in a UCL game since October 2014, and that was against Atletico Madrid. That was against peak Atletico Madrid under Diego Simeone. So fair play to Lyon for shutting them out, but it's just not good enough from the Italian champions. They also lost to French opposition for the first time since November 2009 last night. That was when they lost against Bordeaux in the group stage. And the Bianconeri have now conceded in 7 consecutive away games in all competitions. That defensive back line not looking great at the moment. And neither is De Ligt's head. He came off with a pretty nasty gash. I did quite like his rather bizarre looking thing in the second half.
On the head.
That
made
him look
very
like
weird.
a bit of a condom. But anyway, but that's actually their longest run without a clean sheet away from home in a single season since May 2010, when they somehow did it in 18 games.
Wow.
But that's pretty crazy. That it does feel like this kind of era of Juve dominance is maybe coming to an end a little bit. Obviously, that run that they're kind of we're comparing them to there came before this era of dominance, when they were still kind of recovering from that relegation, weren't they? So, worrying times for Juve defensively. One glimmer of hope, though, they've progressed from 5 of their last 11 Champions League knockout games when losing the first leg. That is a crazy record. We're so used to seeing teams who win the first leg go through. But Juve seem to be comeback kings when it comes to this. Their most recent one, of course, was Atletico Madrid in the last 16 last season with that CR7 hat-trick. And Juve fans will obviously be hoping that the Portuguese maestro can produce some magic in the second leg. Despite being their main threat, with some dangerous floated crosses, Ronaldo will have to up his game in Turin. 0 key passes, 1 dribble, 4 shots, but none of them on target. Obviously put a couple of free kicks into the wall as well. I was hearing apparently, I think from his last 25 attempts from direct free kicks, something like 18 have hit the wall. Like
he's got to get over the wall. He's got to get over the wall.
Yeah, exactly. It's just basic football, really. But having turned 35 earlier this month, it now looks increasingly unlikely that Cristiano Ronaldo will be able to win that record-equaling 6th Champions League. Obviously, that's Real Madrid's Paco Gento from back in the 50s and 60s who holds that record. And obviously, Ronaldo wants to go for it. What do you reckon?
I don't think it's really down to him anymore. I think Juve's problems are beyond him now. It's not just about scoring goals. They're not really looking defensively as strong as they used to. Their midfield isn't as cohesive as they usually are. Sarri seems to just continuously have this problem with this team, even though when he was at Chelsea, he was complaining he didn't have the squad depth. Now he's got the players and he's still having problems. So I think there's a lot of problems at Juve right now that is beyond CR7's ability to just score goals.
For sure, and I think even going forward, like if you've got someone like Paulo Dybala on the pitch, I think he has to step up in games like this. I think he had an effort ruled out for offside. But what do you reckon? Do you reckon Ronaldo has it in him to secure another Champions League? Do you reckon he'll do it before he retires?
I don't know. I don't see Juve winning a Champions League while he's there. I thought that last season was probably. It was like written in the stars. He goes to Juve. Allegri's not had the Champions League. Everything was set up and they lost. And this season, then they don't look as strong as they were last year. So I don't know. It will take a miracle. It will take a miracle for them to win the Champions League while he's there.
Yeah, I'd say I'm in agreement. I can't see I think Juve are going to probably get through this tie. I can't see them progressing beyond the quarters or semis.
There's much stronger sides as well.
Yeah, like when you look at Bayern, when you look at Man City, especially last night. Obviously Liverpool have to come through against Atleti, but them as well. You just rate them all above them, wouldn't you? But what do you guys reckon? Do you think Cristiano Ronaldo can win another Champions League? Let us know in the poll above. But like you were saying, Sam, the whole Juve side just not really good enough on the night. Only 2 players created more than one chance. That was Alexandro with 2 and Dybala with 4, to be fair to him. And in Juve's 5 games in the UCL knockout stages since Ronaldo has joined, no other player has scored in those games.
That's crazy.
It's just damning, isn't it?
That's
obviously, they had to rely on that hat-trick last year to get past Atleti, and then crumbled against Ajax in the quarterfinals. But yeah, like you were saying as well, Sarri loves to complain, and last night he had some harsh words to say about his side's inability to move the ball fast. He said, "This is fundamental, we'll keep working on it, and sooner or later, this concept will get into their heads. I continue to tell them, and there were many who were doing it, moving the ball too slowly, and therefore getting into the wrong positions." Obviously, Sarri sides are known for playing quickly, especially especially in those glory days at Napoli. So used to seeing that. But, I mean, if you're 9 months down into the job and the players still aren't getting it,
you've got to switch it up.
You've got to realise that maybe you have to take some of the blame as well. And pressure's mounting on him. They've lost 2 of their last 5 league games. Obviously 2-1 to Hellas Verona a few weeks back, not great. That's cut their lead at the top of the table to Lazio to just 1 point. And they now face an uphill task to make their 4th consecutive UCL quarter-finals. Yeah, not looking good for Maurizio Sarri. What do you make of his chances of even staying in a job come the end of the season? Let us know down below. And I guess that leaves us for the day. For the episode. Hope you enjoyed it. If you haven't already, obviously like and subscribe to EFD. Sam, where should they go next?
They should go to FD, where we have a lot of content daily. You know,
It's in the name.
You know, I genuinely can't remember what's going on.
We had transfer talk yesterday. I think we may have a top 10 going out today. And yeah, stay on here for Stat Wars on the weekend as well. I believe it's Zach versus I'm Alex. Yes, that's right. Influencers
big
in the
ties.
building for Stat Wars the champions. But yeah, have a lovely day and see you next time.
Bye.